Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Alex Rome, and today we're going to talk about drums. And the reason for this is because drums come up a lot when I'm teaching lessons to my people. Drums tend to be that one thing that if somebody's going to have, or if one of my students are going to have a weaker point in their production game, it's going to be the drums. And what I want to explain to you is why producers need to understand drums, and they have to be good at drums. Drums really do have to be every producer's stronger points, one of every producer's stronger points. Because if you can't produce a good drum line, then your song will not move forward like people like it, like listeners like it. After all, every hot genre right now, hip-hop, EDM, even the newer alternative rock, it's all drum driven, it's all beat driven. Essentially, EDM is just a big drum beat, like big drums and nice beats with some flashy synths around them. Even hip-hop is essentially a beat with some flashy vocals and a nice lead and bass line around that. So without that beat, you wouldn't really have much power in your song, and this is why we have to concentrate on this stuff. Another reason why, I ask the people that I teach very often, where do you feel comfortable and where are you strongest in your game and where are you weakest in your game when it comes to producing something, when it comes to actually writing the song, writing the music. And I'm not even kidding you, 99% of the time. And this is what I want to hear this in the comment section. I want you guys comment in the comment section below what the strongest and weakest part of your music writing game is. Because most of the people tell me it's that they kind of overlook drums, but they like to concentrate on the nice melodies and the cool sound design and the best sounding synths. And to be completely honest with you, that stuff is all irrelevant if your drums aren't doing the job they have to do, because drums dominate this shit. So let me know in the comments, where's your weakest point? Where could you show improvement? And by the way, I'm going to end up making a drum rhythm for you guys, and the purpose of this is that I want to show you how you can practice drums with 3 different layers here, just 3 layers, just to get better at it. And the purpose of this will be to, get better at drums so that your songs that actually matter that you're going to release, drums will be piece of cake. Drums will be cakewalk for you. But go ahead, let me know in the comments section, where's your weakest point of your game? Where's the strongest point of your game? Me personally, my weakest point was always drums in the beginning because I overlooked them. Listening to EDM, you tend to concentrate on the crazy melodies and the big sounds and the big bass lines and the big kicks. But really, it's just all proper working of drum rhythms strategically placed to actually sound powerful. And so that's why I wanted to do this today. So let's do it. Every single drum rhythm starts out or is structured by 2 or 3 main sounds, and that is the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat. To kind of go farther into that, that's the kick, the main snare, or I call it the center snare, the snare that makes the beat, the pace of the beat, because the snare and the kick control how fast the beat is actually moving. So, which is crazy, because you could virtually have any tempo in the world, but your snare and kick will decide ultimately how fast your song or beat is going to move, and that's important, because that's how the people who are listening to your songs are going to move. That's what they're going to shake their head to, is these really funky, crazy beats. And they don't actually have to be that crazy or funky. They just got to be normal beats that move forward at a consistent pace. So you got your kick and your snare, which are your most important 2 drums. And then you have your third most important drum, which is the hi-hat. A hi-hat has a lot of power, and strategically used can do a lot of crazy things. So I have this kick. That's not a kick, that's a snap. Then I have this kick right here. And then I have this hi-hat right here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how we can decide a pace for a beat by using these 3 drums. And then every other drum, when you hear crazy things like toms and reverse sounds and any other percussive sound, those are just supporting elements to the most important percussive elements, which you're seeing right here. Let's put this shit at 150, and then we're gonna go kick. Start off with, always start your beats off with the kick. It's easier to do. If you want to pull some crazy stuff later and, you know, pull up a kick just to have a missing beat, which is always super fun, do that later. But you want to get your rhythm down first. So when you're making a beat, your snare is going to go one of 2 places. You're either going to have one snare, and in this case, the snap is my center snare. Your snare is going to go in the middle of every bar, or it's going to go on these 2 grid lines in between every bar. So that's grid line number 2 and 4. Or if that's too fast for you, you're going to have one snare on the middle grid line in between each bar. So I like this pace, but watch what actually happens if I do this. Watch how fast this moves. Now the pace of my beat is going to be crazy fast. Isn't that fast? Now that would be like a drum and bass quickness right there. So I'm not trying to go for that drum and bass fast sound. So I'm going to do something like this. Just like that. That's what I'm going for. Take that, and bang, look at that. So I always like to close my loops with a couple of extra kicks, or maybe one extra kick. Don't add too many kicks at the end because it always sounds silly. And just like that, you have your core structure right there. You can virtually build anything around. You can add an 808 to that kick. You can add a flat bass line to that kick, and virtually do anything you want. Just keep this snare in the center. Now, when you have your center snare, what I would say is when you're practicing, don't do anything crazy with it. Like, don't do something like this, because this will mess you up. Like that. Try not to do something like that, because essentially your bigger drum lines aren't going to have your powerful center snare occurring more than once in between each beat, because that really speeds the beat up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a hi-hat on grid at a desired pace. So I can make this go fast. And remember, the hi-hat carries a lot of energy because it is, you know, in my opinion, it's considered one of those high energy sounds. So those high energy drum sounds. So the higher energy drum sounds you want to, you know, be careful with, because they drive the pace. If you just scatter them on there with no purpose, which I hear all the time, your drums aren't going to make sense, and your song will never get anywhere because it just sounds stupid. So you have to decide the pace of, or complement the pace of your kick and your snare with your hi-hat. Don't don't make it do anything too different because it's just going to sound annoying. So you could go with something like that. And then if you want to get fancy, do something like that. But don't go too crazy. I hear people overcomplicating these all the time. You want to throw a snare roll, or you want to throw a hi-hat roll in there? Throw a roll in there with purpose. So right here, I have all the room in the world for a little hi-hat roll. So we could totally do something like right here. And I could do another roll right here, because there's purpose to that one. I'm not throwing a roll right here because we already have enough energy here. If I were to step the pace up right there, it would just start getting a little bit more crazy. Like maybe it will work, but then again, I want to keep my energies consistent. So I'm going to have my rolls where my hi-hats are a little lighter. And just because I'm crazy, let's just see what a little bit of reverb on that snap will sound like. Whoa! Damn! Just like that, you have a little drum rhythm, and now you can start building around it. So these were just kind of extra. So now you throw your extras around. How can you, how can you enhance this kick? How can you enhance this snap? Could you put like a little reverse thing here, or an open hi-hat here? Could you put a in the form of an open hi-hat, or a clap, or a chant, you know? Hey, 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 something like that. That now it's like it's a perfect structure, a perfect canvas for you to start painting your music and painting the rest of the percussion around what you got going on here. But there you go, guys. I'm Alex from AlexFromSound.com. You can go to AlexFromSound.com, check out my lessons, sample packs, courses, and other stuff. I got a blog on there too. And if you enjoyed this video, took any value from it, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here, and turn on the notification bell, of course. And comment your thoughts in the comment section below. Peace out, guys.